obviously, we'd like to put Saturday night behind us as fast as possible. It was really a dominating performance by LSU in all facets. I mean, they were more physical. They played harder, which is embarrassing and hurtful to say. Um, and there's one thing for a team to have more talent, but I didn't think we showed up with the right energy and drive and competitive spirit, and that lies in my lap, and that's disappointing. And so I mean, it was. I could go through all the truths of the game, but it was really a dominating performance. I think they're a very good football team. I think they've improved defensively in the last 2 weeks. Offensively, they're one of the better ones that I've seen and faced, and quarterbacks playing at an extremely high level. So give them a lot of credit, and we've got a lot to learn from that game. Certainly, no time to hang our heads or feel sorry for ourselves, because we got another team that's very much like them coming in. I think this is the third straight week that we'll be facing the top three offenses in the conference in Georgia, LSU, and Ole Miss, and it's going to be a tremendous challenge. I'm thankful that we're at home in Jordan-Hare. We need it to be at its all-time best, and I know it will be. And we'll get ready and excited to play in this challenge, but really good football team coming in.
Hey, Hugh, I watched this one on TV. I wasn't there. It seemed like in the third and fourth quarter, when things were getting away from you, you looked almost like heartbroken, like crestfallen. And I expected you to be angry and pissed off, and you were like sad almost.
Yeah.
Is that an accurate representation of what you were thinking at the time?
Oh yeah, heck yeah! It'll make you sad when you're not competing like you hoped you would. It's I don't know if anger is the right response that our kids need right now. They need some hard truths that I'll give them today as soon as I meet with them. I miss meeting on Sundays. I really wish we did that, but can't wait to see them today and give them the truths of the game and the truths from what I saw and the truths I've already given the coaches and myself. And it's disappointing for sure not to compete any better than we did. I mean, I wasn't heartbroken. I understand this game. I understand where we are in our program. I understand it's going to take some time to build it. But, if you expect me to I certainly wasn't happy. So whether you call it sad, angry, or whatever, I was definitely not happy. And you certainly look at yourself first. I do, and you want to. I don't know. I just want to get it fixed and get us to be competitive like Auburn should be. And I know that there's in this conference things start going against you, particularly on the road. There's some teams that can put it on you pretty good, and that's what happened.
I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but you went to Ole Miss at Liberty. How much does that help with the emotions going into this game after your time at Ole Miss and already playing them?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that it actually helps a lot. Jill and I actually talked about that because that removes the hey, this is your first time playing Ole Miss since your departure from there, and so I think it's very helpful. That was an emotional day originally, but I was truthfully overwhelmed by I have a lot of friends there and a lot of people that I think appreciate the good things that we did, and certainly wish that some things were different at the ending, just like I do. But I think time. I mean, we're 7, 8 years now removed from my seasons there, so I think most people have. I don't know. I've got a lot of friends there, but the trip back there absolutely helps. With it now, this is not something that's new.
Coach, projecting forward, last year this team was at a crossroads somewhat midseason, and they generated a lot of excitement to get up for the Texas A&M game, and they won it. What's your message to the team internally this year about what you're playing for the rest of the season? How do you get them up for Ole Miss?
Well, I mean, in building a program, you certainly hope you don't have to revisit that all the time, just because you're going to lose some games in this conference, and it's only going to get harder. I think we're approaching the NFC, AFC version somehow, some way, and you don't want to have to every time you lose a game have to, well, what are we going to do to finish the year? We're playing to win a game at Jordan-Hare Saturday night and hear the truths of how we can improve to win it, and we should play for each other, and we should serve each other, and we should love each other enough to play. And that's, I think, a greater challenge in today's times than ever before, truthfully. I think we're all dealing with it. I talked with two coaches this morning in this conference that are friends of mine that I think we all are dealing with some of the same things. And it's coaching is becoming a harder challenge at this level, and it's one that we've got to embrace and continue to lead well. And hopefully we have enough players that lead well enough that, we see another opportunity to represent each other in our university, and another step toward hopefully getting better as a program. And but how we prepare this week will show on Saturday. It always does. And that'll be the message.
Yes, you personnel or scheme-wise, any changes you think you can make to improve the offense at all? And I also got to follow up on Caleb Burton getting his first start. Is he a guy that's been coming on for you?
Caleb, it's great that you can honor players sometimes because they really did things the right way. They practiced the right way. They're doing the things that we say are the standard in this program, and Caleb has done that, and it was exciting to see him get his first reps, and I expect him to get more. Offensively, we've obviously, it's well documented, we've struggled to be consistent, and we had 4 possessions in that game to cut it to a 1-score game. Not saying we would have won the game or what would have happened, but it certainly would have given us confidence and momentum. And we had 3 before the half and 1 right out of the half, and we found a way in 3 of the 4 to kill the drive. And I say we found a way. That's coaches and players. One of the 4, give LSU total credit for that, but the margin of error, again, for where we are, we can't do that. I mean, let's just imagine if we get 10 points out of those 4 drives, it's then, 20-17. And we got 3 points out of those 4 drives, and it was 20-10, and then it kind of snowballed after that. But, we'll continue to try every personnel to make sure we're playing the best kids. I think the plan was good. Awful start. I don't think that helped. With the first possession going like it did, I thought that we looked like zombies a bit on the sideline after that, and it just it kind of snowballed. But no real earth-shaking personnel changes. Just to try to get the best plan that our kids understand that they can execute with who we have. It's one thing to walk out there and say, hey, man, I know we can throw a post route. Well, great. All right, who's going to run that post route, and is he going to run it correctly, and is he able athletically to beat this corner if that matchup's there, and who's going to throw it, and are we good enough to do that and win the game? And if we are, we got to figure out exactly who those people are. So we're having a lot of discussions that go into certain plays that, truthfully, I haven't had a lot of.
Hey, Coach, I know there's been a number of factors on offense which haven't led to that unit clicking on all cylinders. Have you considered giving Robby more reps, maybe between the 20s, just if nothing else, to light a spark?
Yeah, we consider everything and everybody, and so that'll continue to be in our thoughts.
I know playmakers, getting the ball in the hands of your playmaker is the main goal. You mentioned kind of trying to find how hard is it to balance that by not substituting and tipping your hand based on what you're doing, and would, again, go back to tempo, would that help some if you could get some of that going?
Y'all know, I mean, my whole history is I probably wouldn't be sitting here today if it wasn't for tempo offense and RPO world. And so it's a very uncomfortable feeling for me to not be in that world. But we are very, very, very thin, and you get in that kind of game with last week LSU, this week with Ole Miss. They want that kind of game. I mean, they thrive in that kind of game, and I just don't know. It's not working right now the other way either. So it's a struggle. You know, if you say, hey man, let's just go fast with them and see if we can do that, then you're asking Marcus Harris to play 80 snaps a game because, you know, of just depth issues, or not just Marcus, but other defensive linemen, and I'm not sure that's smart either. So it's we're still kind of debating that. What's the right approach?
Hugh, you mentioned some of it after the game, the early issues, you know, early on with the pre-snap penalties. Coming out of the bye week, were you surprised maybe with some of the lack of execution in spots?
Well, there's just 2 plays, and that's the shocking thing, and it never happened again the whole game. And so that is baffling to me, and don't have an answer, and neither did our kids. I just, you know, I mean, I know it was probably the loudest it was going to get at that moment because you're starting from the student section, and but I mean, for it not to be an issue the rest of the game, but it was 2 out of the first 3 plays is kind of baffling to me, and certainly disappointing. I don't have an answer. I mean, thought they heard a clap, but there was no clap.
Coming off the Georgia game, you felt like Payton had made some progress. Just your evaluation of his game, especially after watching the film from the LSU game.
You know, still again, and when I say these things, it's a combination. I want to be clear. It's not just the quarterback that makes the passing game go. It's the protection, it's the routes, it's the correct routes. And we had some inconsistencies at the quarterback spot on throws. I mean, we almost came back from those 2 mishaps on the first possession. You know, we complete a pass, then we throw another one and Luke Deal is wide open, and we missed the throw. And so there was great protection. The route was good. So there's others where, you know, the route may be a little deep and the ball's coming out on the timing that it should. So it's a combination. But the passing game is still inconsistent.
From a health standpoint, sorry, is there any chance that Damari could be back this week, and also just anything new kind of picked up at LSU?
Yeah, we just had a staff earlier this morning. It doesn't look good for Damari. You know, Simpson was not 100% for sure Saturday night, but hopefully he'll get better. And then hopefully we'll get good news on Keontae at some point soon, because he makes a huge difference in our leadership. And Austin Keys, I know, got out of his cast and don't think he'll be ready this week, but getting closer.
Coach, as far as the game flow, when you guys evaluated yourselves in terms of calling plays and maybe personnel decisions, are you guys going to make any changes in terms of how you're switching out quarterbacks during the game, or, you know, should fans expect to see, you know, one quarterback take the helm a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, we're up here late last night, obviously, and today, and I really hadn't seen the staff much today because of everything I have to do Monday mornings. But that's still being discussed. But I would expect that you would see both QBs.
Coach, post-game, Eugene Asante said that he wants the team to be able to get up for these big games and want to play in these big games. Do you have a issue with the competitive makeup of this team, or is it just a talent issue at this point?
That's tough to know. I think our team has competed hard in every game, except for times the other night. And obviously, when you say team, you're not saying that it's every individual. There's still some extraordinarily great efforts by certain individuals, but it seemed flat. It did, and you know. But I don't. Again, you don't make too much of that in one particular game, so I don't think it's now. If we have 3 or 4 in a row that were flat, then it becomes a real issue. But you know, for whatever reason, maybe it's the way we started on both offense and defense that we were shocked, and it seemed flat. But I haven't talked to the kids yet, and I'll see them this afternoon.
You mentioned another good offense this week in Ole Miss. How similar are they to what LSU likes to do? And I guess how confident are you that you guys can have a bounce-back performance?
Yeah, they're similar. They go faster than LSU. I mean, LSU's not tempo all the time. I mean, Lane and Charlie are, you know, they want to go fast all the time, and that's hard to prepare for sure. They do a few more things in the run game than LSU, and probably in the pass game too. But you know, their quarterback's playing at a high level. I think's only turned it over, I don't know, 2 times. Talented receivers, great running backs. O-line's really solid. I hadn't watched too much of their defense yet. I'll do that this afternoon. But I know my guys said they're playing extremely hard on defense for sure, and obviously are stopping people for the most part. So I think you got a complete team, and you know, give credit to the job Lane's done there, and when he took over and has built it back into a competitive top 25 program.
You were talking about after the game about those RPO fades that you guys run, especially when they're tightened up on you at corner. Y'all have thrown a lot of those this year, had some success early, not as much recently. What do you think's kind of been the issue there, kind of holding back? Because those are obviously key plays in y'all's playbook.
They were critical in 3 of the drives. We got really good drives going in second and medium or short, and it put us in 3rd down, which we've been very poor on. And probably if we hand it off, we're probably looking at a 1st down or at least a 3rd and short. That is the system. But, you know, we've got to figure out if that's really who we are, whether the throw's a little off or whether the corner just won and give him credit, or whether we ran a route in a way that allowed the corner to win. It's a combination of all those.
Yeah, you've said several times you're here because you like tempo and your RPO. When you get this roster fully realized, 2 years, 3 years, whenever, is that what Auburn's going to be?
Absolutely.
You're going to be like Ole Miss is now?
I hope. I like those stats I see from them.
I understand.